Hi everyone, happy Sunday, and here we are with the July 2022 completed pages video. As I drink my coffee. So I went ahead and I found my planner, so I was able to do my roundup in here. I will have to go write down what I had for June, where I had to track that on a separate piece of paper. So like I said, this month I don't feel like I did as many pages as I usually do, but you know, kind of looking back at this, I don't know. Maybe this is kind of average for me right now. So this number got pumped up quite a bit. I was able to finish quite a few pages just this last week, so that really helped. So 14 unique books overall that I worked in, 21 total pages. I worked out of 4 of my 10 books to finish, and I know this is chicken scratch. Sorry, it's just how I write. It's not pretty. 13 pages were color by number and 8 non-color by number. Still a pretty nice showing for a month that was pretty chaotic, and I wasn't feeling particularly creative the majority of the months. So that's why there's significantly more color by numbers this month. Then just a list of the different mediums I used: Derwent pastel pencils and Pitt pastel pencils, various alcohol markers. I have Copic, Caliart, Spree, Arteza, Ohuhu pastel, Prisma. And then some wise prints that I use, and I just kind of mix them all in. When I'm at my desk, I tend to use the ones that are over here, which are my Copics, my Caliarts, and I need to use my Artezas, but the problem is the yellow in books. So, and these are the old school Everblends. I don't know if the new ones do it. So I'm not really sure how to use those unless I'm using them on, you know, a page I've printed out or something. So, the only ones I do note that, you know, a own brand is also the Tau Trees, which I used. I did use my Arteza Real Brush pens. This was pretty good color pencil month. I think I used my Derwent color pencils on a couple pages. I used my Artezas on a page, glossy accent, and then most of this is pretty normal with the exception of the acrylic paint pens. I was trying those out in a Disney book. And then the Confections watercolors, the vintage pastel set that I almost mucked up in the picture I was doing with those. So there is the roundup for the month. So like I said, overall it wound up actually, I guess feels like this year on average I'm doing less pages per month. However, I believe I'm doing far more non-color by number this year. So I guess this year it's more detail work rather than overall like page volume. So anyway, yeah, I should have flipped this paper. I was doing some messing around with it earlier. So all right, let's get started. So 80s New Wave. These first few were ones that I did videos on this month. So as I talk about them, I'm going to put in the right a card showing the video so you can go check those out. I think, oh, yep. So I need to move this one. If I'm doing that, I need to move this one here. One moment, please. Last minute scurrying around. Did I do the country scenes one on video? I can't remember. If I did, I'll just put the card up when it comes up. Alright, I think I can only do 4 anyway, so it may just be these first ones. I think you only do 4 or 5. Alright, so Friday I did a color and chat, an 80s themed color and chat that I thought would just be fun and a little different, mostly just talking about 80s and my childhood television. And I guess, yeah, anyway, just something a little different. I've been dying to color a page out of this book, and I had to pick one of the detailed ones. This is 80s New Wave by Joshua Dunbar. It's, as I mentioned to him on Instagram. This is more detailed than I typically go for in a picture, but this one pretty much, like, of any of the pages in this book, because I was born in 81, this more than anything other than the punk rocker, because I wasn't old enough to be a part of that era. This pretty much encompasses my entire childhood from the 80s. Like, this whole picture just made me think of my childhood. So it was perfect. It's the one I wanted to do. So, and plus I had just come back from the Too Many Games convention in June. So the arcade games, like, it just brought back memories of that too. So, alcohol marker base with a pastel pencils over the top. Yes, this took a bit, but I tell you, I was so proud of it when it was done. It looks great. It looked great even with just the marker, but the subtle shading from the pastel pencils, I don't know, every time I tell myself I can just, I can leave it as marker and I'd be fine. But then if I actually do add the pencil, I'm always pleased with the results. Honestly, I think using the pastel pencils is my favorite way to shade at this point, other than regular colored pencils, just because you can blend them out and make them, it's a lot easier for me to make them subtle than colored pencils. So anyway, one of probably the pictures I am most proud of this year. This is going to be a tough year. I know there is a mid-year freakout tag I haven't done. I might do. My problem is going to be picking favorites, because I tell y'all that has been one thing this year. I've really stretched into some of the books and stretched, I guess, creatively in, multiple layers and pictures and different techniques. And so it's going to be really hard to pick favorites this year. I did finish a long-standing whip from last November out of Autumn Charm by Teresa Goodrich. This was mostly Arteza Real Brush pens, though I grabbed a few from Color It and Shuttle Art as well that I happen to have. And this turned out amazing. I mean, they always do. I don't know what it is about the Real Brush pens and this paper, but they just always shine and do really well. I just put them directly on there. The video will show you how I do that. I do show you guys the second part, and then I had done the first part in a color and chat back in November or so of last year. But Marjorie Sarnett has a new book coming out this month, and so I want to start using my Real Brush pens more often, and I'd like to try to do a page a month. And so I'll probably work mostly out of Creative Haven books because I know they do so well, but I would love to do a page out of her new book in August with the pens. That's kind of the plan, but we'll see. Anyway, I love my kitty, and I love the color of the blanket. That's probably my favorite part of this picture, is the kitty and the blanket. So here we go. Another whip I've had since maybe April is the Cat Coloring Book by Grace J. This is one of my favorite coloring books on my entire shelf. I have three. Cat Coloring Book 1, Cat Coloring Book 2, and the Balls of Fur Hairballs book that I just recently got from Hatchet Heroes. I think those are my three favorite books on the shelf right now. So I haven't colored anything in my fancy coloring books like this, so I wanted to, and I had put a watercolor base down on this a while back using, I can't remember. I don't think it was the new one. I hadn't gotten my Winsor & Newtons yet, so it was a watercolor set I had. I can't go, it was a Pretty Excellent watercolors, that's it. It was a budget set that Lindsay the Frugal Crafter recommended. So Pretty Excellent watercolors as a base. It sat like that for a long time. Then this month I decided to add pencil to it, and I love this picture. It is so bright. It is so pretty. The Artezas went across this paper so well. I was so pleased with them. I colored the cat after Tammy's cat Domino from Tammy Colors 2. This was supposed to be for her birthday back in March in honor of her kitty Domino, and it, you know, obviously I just now got around to it. But he's so cute. I love the black and white kitties, and he reminds me so much of my Felix. So I wanted to do a picture like this, and it just turned out gorgeous. I love it. I absolutely do. I was going to do a picture in August from the second book, but I may be doing a different one, and I might talk about that during the kickoff. I actually have a planner, just one or two planned books for next month that I might touch on either Tuesday or Wednesday. Is going to be my kickoff for the coloring tags for August. So, Summer Nights by Hannah Carlzon. I believe this is a buddy color for me and Tammy. I don't think Tammy's had a chance to get to hers yet, which is fine because I was behind last month. I am very flexible with buddy colors, and I kind of have to be because sometimes it can take me a week or two to get to it. And then some months I just don't get to them quick enough. So I did get this one done this month. I knew as soon as she had gifted me the Confections watercolor set, the Vintage Pastel, and when I saw this page, I wanted to try them on it. I do have a video on this. This started out as a complete disaster. I did not treat the page with satin glazing liquid or anything, and I wanted a smooth background, and those two things do not go together with watercolor. So I was having a real hard time with it, and then the black outline was too thick, but I stuck with it, and overall, I guess I can take this clip off now. I ended up feeling much better about the picture. Is my favorite picture of the month? No. However, I do really like the watch. I put some glossy accent on the watch, and the gold, the Prismacolor gold, and the little liquid pearls that I used and stuff, and the Arteza vintage gel pens on the watch. I love the watch in this picture. That turned out really nice, and then everything else is okay. I salvaged this picture, and it was important to me to try to stick with it and come up with something that I just didn't go in a rage and just exit out and call it a day. I wanted to see if I could make it into a good picture, and overall I think it turned out. I think if I had went with a little thinner line on the black, overall I'd be much more pleased with it, but it's still a good picture. I'm still happy enough with it. And I just realized, no, okay, are we just now getting to, okay, yes. Sorry, I'm trying to think of two things at once. So, 50 vacation miniatures. My Kimberly Angel Cova pictures usually get a lot of response on, or at least a lot of likes on Instagram. And so I wanted to show how because I typically have a format I use now for them. I always change that up. My Jungle Miniatures book is where I've tried a lot of watercolor and a lot of things I typically wouldn't try on regular Amazon paper. So I do test things on occasion, but this seems to be the setup that I do for a lot of my Kimberly Angel Cova pictures. So this is out of the newest, well, not newest one now, because there is another one, the 50 diminutive seaside scenes, I think. I posted about it on the community tab yesterday. She just released that one. This was the newest release up to that point. I had a buddy color request out of this book from, I believe, her official handle, Skater Colors or Skate Colors, and her name's Coloring Cassie. So we ended up picking this page. So I'm putting the video in the card on the top right. I am going to start including buddy color pictures when they're available, so I'm going to be adding them in after I record, so you should be seeing it now on the top left, her version along with her name. So basically I'll use like the pastel Ohuhu markers as a base. I usually find a darker color to edge an outline, and then I'll add in a bunch of glitter gel pen like I did here with the lime. And this time I added in glossy accents on the glass and the cherries. This isn't my absolute favorite picture that I've done of hers, but I am pleased with the color palette I picked. I like how the limes turned out, and then I did like a light pebble pastel chalk for the back, pebble chalk, whatever it's called. And overall, I mean, it's a good picture. So I really like her picture though, how it turned out. I like her fish in particular, the colors with it. And we both went with limes on the top part of the glass, which I thought was funny. Because most of the time, I guess you would look at that and think, well, maybe you'd think of a lemon. I don't know. It's hard to say. Well, let's go ahead and do the other buddy colors so I can just do those back to back to back. All right. So one buddy color I was slow on last month was our next Baby Dragons page between Tammy Colors 2 and I. I'm trying to finish this book this year. I think I'm down to 5 pages. I may have to do 2 in a month, but you know, this may actually happen. So we're within reach. And but I did not get the page done last month. I got it done this month. This is Baby Dragons by Jade Summer, and I'm going to, oh, well, first I'm going to show you this picture. So we did the sea monster and the kraken or what have you. So when I looked at this picture, I wanted it to be like a stormy background, like I wanted lightning or something. And I wanted him to be black, but you know, not get completely lost in the line art. So those are the two things I knew for sure I wanted to do with this picture. In this book, I've tried a lot of different things in it. This has been kind of a fun experimental book. Every now and then I see a picture and I don't get any kind of real creative idea, so it may just be marker and it may just be a pretty palette picture, and those are okay too. I have a nice mix in this book. It's just whatever mood strikes me, and so I had a specific idea for this one, and I think it worked out really well. So I was trying some new acrylic paint pens for the lightning. I, kind of sketched them out. They look alright. The white paint pen was not, well, that color on this dark purple red, usually that will bleed through a white marker anyway. But that white marker for that brand, I think it was Zayar, was really watery anyway, so it was kind of doomed. But in some ways I think it kind of works though with the lightning. It didn't bother me as much in this picture because I think you would kind of see a little bit of a faded sky color too. And then that, creepy looking red purple doesn't bode well for the people in that boat, not to mention, the giant dragon here, who looks like he just wants to play. And so instead of just going entirely black, I did add in the red and went with a really dark, like a C9 gray on him instead of just flat out black, just so I could see the outlines and be able to come through with a white gel pen and line those up. And I think that turned out really nice. Did the same thing, of course, with the water here on the boat. I did add some, what's it called? Some of the paneling look to the side of the boat. This was all smooth, and so I just kind of sketched that in just to give it a little bit of texture. And there we go. So yeah, I think we've got the book dragon, the mouse dragon, the crystal dragon, the robot dragon. Hi Sid, I see you. I feel like there's one more. Sleepy dragon. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe I'll have it by the end of the year. And you saw her picture up as well. I really like her dragon and the colors that she used there as well. So I think she's actually going to go back and change some things about her picture. And I think that's cool. Like, most of the time when I am working on a picture, I want to call it done and just put it away. But like, there's been times I've worked on a page and I'm like, I just don't know what background I want to do. So sometimes I'll just leave it without a background. And in the future, if I'm looking through it, I might get inspired to do a background. So, you can always go back to a picture. You don't have to just never touched again, though some of those pictures I work on, by the time I'm done with them, I never want to touch them again. All right, and my final buddy color for the month is out of Country Scenes Color by Number by George Tufexis, which is now my project book with Ren Kelly. Hers is going to be in the top left this month. We did the mountain and the bear picture. Now this one's fun because she colors hers with colored pencils, and then I use the towel tree markers, and I like seeing the differences. And even with a color by number being the buddy color, I find that your different choices for different like greens and blues and stuff can be different. So I always like seeing the differences. But I like this picture. I really like the purple mountains, and then of course the reflection in the water I thought was really neat. I don't know, at this point might behoove us to start working front to back, but I don't know. Alright, now so this one I didn't get a chance to show on Instagram, just ran out of time because I just got done with it yesterday. I really want to use my colored pencils more. I have all these colored pencil sets, and they're hard to use because it's hard on my wrist and my right arm. I have tendonitis that flares up real bad if I use them too much. So I think part of that scares me, and so I don't use them as often as I should. And the other part is just picking out colors, because it's hard for me to even straight color with pencils, even though it turns out pretty and everybody else's pages turn out fantastic when they do that. I always want to pick out the 2 or 3 colors and shade and do all that and make it complicated. So they turn into complicated pictures that take me forever because I go so slowly when I color with colored pencils. So this month, Rachel Henderson here on YouTube does a lot of color alongs on her channel for different pictures using different types of colored pencils. And I have been watching those for a while. And I did a color along a few months back with Circle of Life and ink tints on another channel, and I really enjoyed it. So I was like, I just need to start doing more of these. That way the colors are already picked out. I'm just following along. I can change it up if I want to. I hadn't colored in this book yet, which is the Europa book by Rita Berman. I do believe the Asia book is coming out in August, and I will probably be splurging. I probably will make that one of my exceptions. I've already made 2 exceptions for August. There have been 2 books so far. This will probably be the 3rd. I think I have a 4th in mind, and that really needs to be it for the month. Though I have some good things on the horizon, by the way. So things don't seem as dire as they did 2 weeks ago. So I will say that if you're wondering. All right, so I did this one. I'm going to link her channel down below. And then I followed along with her color along for this page. And she used the newest pencils by Derwent. What are they called? Why am I blanking out on these? I don't have the chroma something. Yeah, chroma something. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. Brain is not working well. Anyway, I don't have those pencils. Chroma Flow. That's it. Chroma Flow pencils, which I really want and probably will be a Christmas ask, but obviously budget is tight right now and I'm not going to splurge for those just yet. So I used my Derwent Color Softs. I was thinking, hey, maybe the color names are the same. They're not, but that's okay. I managed to convert my colors to looking very similar to hers. Now, a couple things I did differently. She didn't have a background on hers. I went ahead with some Pebbles chalk and put in some yellow and like some yellow orange for the background, like, you know, the sun setting or just where there's a lot of sun kind of cast on them. And so instead of using, she had yellow here instead of purple. So I added in purple here just so it wasn't too much, you know, bright yellow color. And I changed this instead of the blue. I didn't really have the blue like she had, so I changed it to a mint green. And yeah, overall, I was really pleased with how it turned out. It was nice to use my pencils and use them on a pencils only page instead of as a layer. I don't know how much I like the color softs in the Rita Berman books. I struggled a lot with being able to darken them and either get really bold color or, you know, it was hard to layer them, I guess. And so I don't know how if I want to use them in here, but this was a good trial just to see whether or not I like them. So she's got another one out of Lost Ocean. It's like a pattern page with some fish and seahorses, and I think I'm going to do that one for August because I haven't colored in Lost Ocean since 4 years ago. So last in the non-color by number, I just did this one today because I had to do a Christmas in July. First off, I want to do a Christmas in July page for the month because for color alongs. But I bought this book this month, and this is such a cute book. I'm normally not big on coloring Christmas, but like Santa on an Island is more my style. And so I was like, out of the 4 Ava Brown books I bought this month, I've got to color in at least one of them. So I did. I did the very first picture in this one. And I love how he turned out. He's so awesome. He doesn't look super happy. I don't know why. Maybe it's just he's had a long day traveling on the sleigh, on the sleigh, and his wife's all like, "Can we get a picture?" And he's just like, fine. You know, it's the end of a long day. He just wants to get into his room and unpack. You know, this is the little greeter that comes out. So I had a lot of fun with this one. This was just marker base with a outline like I like to do. Though in this one, with the exception of a few of them, I think I just used the same marker to add just a real subtle shading and outline. And I like how that turned out for this. I got a little fancy, added in some yellow reflection from the sun since it's sitting there so bright. And then added in some cool shadow from my Copic to kind of add a little bit of shadow to his beard. So it's a little, there we go. And a little bit of gel pen on the crab and the star and the little snowflakes on his shirt. I figured he gets tired of wearing red all the time, so he's got to have the hat on just for photo opportunities. But you know, I figured dude needed a little more color in his life, and so I love the colors of his outfit. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with this one today. Just playing around with marker and, like I said, fancying up a little bit with reflection and stuff and highlights, and it was just, yeah, it was a real fun picture. I'm gonna post this one actually on Instagram today. So, but really enjoyed that. All right, color by numbers. This was also a last minute finish today. I did do another page in my Disney Felines book by Hatchet Heroes. I have only 2 of these types of books. I have this one, which is a simple one. Then I have the Villains one, which is not simple, and the Ursula picture I'm working on is still not done. I guess I should show my whips at the end. I might do that. But I did manage to get a picture done in here. I've been trying all kinds of things just to see what I like. This was water-based marker. This was all Prismacolor pencils. So then we get to the Cheshire Cat, which I always love because he's always drawn so differently. This one I used mostly acrylic paint pens. because I've seen a lot of people using those and I like how smooth they look. And then the colors I didn't have in the paint pens were Prismacolor pencils. I find that the easiest color matching I'm having so far with the pencils is with Prismacolor colors. So, I don't know how I feel about this one. The paint pens made it easier and it was less difficult on my hands to have to really put a lot of pressure down and just instead use the paint pens. And thanks to the having the Zayar ones I picked up last month, I have a very nice color selection of paint pens right now. But I've got to get better in using them. It got a little annoying because the flow on a lot of them wasn't great. So like I would color a little bit and then it would start to show a bunch of white, so I would have to dab it, wait a second, and then get, so it got a little tedious. I got a little annoyed at that. It looks a little streaky. Just again, I I didn't have a lot of patience with them, I guess. But this green on the leaves I hate. I wish I had a better green than what I used. But overall, I don't hate it. I think I will probably settle somewhere between a combination of the paint markers and the pencil, mostly just because I like the look of the pencil better, but it is really hard on my hands and my wrists to just use pencils. So I think we're kind of settling on a mix of these two. So turned out pretty cool though. And the rest of them were mostly just sitting on the couch, color by numbers. I did do another one out of Easter ceramic tiles. I really like this one. I don't have any of her other ceramic tiles yet because I kind of want to do this one even though it's technically out of season. I just love the colors in it. I found one for the color along this month, the Alphabet Color 2022 IJKL. Which is funny because I haven't talked about that up until this point, but most of my other pages I picked fit into either that or the Watercolor Summer 2022 text. So I picked the lamb right here. Well, it's a sheep, but I call him a lamb. And he turned out quite cute. I don't know how many images are in here. So I've not done a 6-month review of my 10 books to finish. I was going to, and then I just didn't. I don't know if I'm going to, but this is being swapped out for one of my other books because I love this book. I'm having so much fun in it. This is Belva Family Stylish Animals. I use mostly water-based markers in here, but when I run out, I do use some alcohol markers just because otherwise, like I ran out of my water-based black marker this month, so I had to start using a black alcohol marker to fill in the gaps. And sometimes I have to do that with peach because peach can be a difficult color. I used the Ohuhu 120 set, but even there I'm having trouble finding a peach I like. So we've got this dude right here who looks just totally epic. I love all the different little colors. Even though it was a pain to fill all the squares in, I love all the different colors on him. I love Butterfly Bear. He's just so happy. Like, just look at that shocked face from all the butterflies. He's just sitting here with his shades and his jumpsuit, just chilling with his homies. And yes, I just used that word. Then we got this one who I don't like the background much. The background buildings are a little weird in this. It's also probably the colors I picked. But I love him. I love the superhero bull. Like, he turned out really nice. And then we've got Little Miss, I think of her as like a giraffe teacher with her pretty little sweater and her matching glasses. Or librarian. She's a giraffe librarian, perhaps. So, this is my favorite book to work in right now. So, I might be able to get this done by the end of the year if I keep doing multiples each month. So, another one of my 10 books to finish is from Cute Cats by Sachin Sachdeva. I am working my way through this one. Just straight marker, nothing fancy. This is what I would definitely look at as a large print coloring book if you are on the lookout for those due to eyesight issues or something like that. Like, this would be a good large print type coloring book if you like cats. So we have the cute kitty here taking a nap by the fire. This one on the rooftop, probably getting in some kind of trouble. This is one of my favorites in here so far. I just love the little pink kitty cat, and he's giving her a kiss, and it's got the little heart in the background. It's very sweet. This is, like I said, probably one of my favorite pictures in the book. And then I did this one last night. So this one, these types of books are for using up, a lot of it's using up my markers. So I end up having a lot of markers that end up running dry on here. So, you know, if I wind up with a little bit of streakiness in part of the picture, I try not to stress about it too much, because these are really wide spaces, and so it would be really difficult unless I just went back over it with a whole nother color. So these are, you know, like I said, these are more for just fun and sitting there and coloring and dealing with my anxiety, so I don't stress too much about that. And finally, we did a couple out of this one, which is also part of my 10 books to finish. Floral Design Color by Number. I am really close to finishing this one. Might have it in the next few months if I can continue to plug away at least a couple pictures a month. So we have this pretty one here with the purples. And then we've got the zinnias. And I really like these. I like zinnias a lot. If I ever actually get around to growing like flowers and stuff, I'd like to have some zinnias. I think they're real pretty. But yeah, this one I am down to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I definitely think for the end of the year. So, hi Scamper. Yes, I will move this pile of books right now for you because we are done. Like I said, this actually, I think, turned out to be an average month for me. So overall, that's good news. Tuesday, I think I will be doing the, unless they deliver it early, which they've oddly been doing that recently, I will be doing a flip through of the new Camellia Angel Cova book, either Monday or Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we will do the color lawn tags for August, which will be the letters M and N in the alphabet color. We will be continuing Watercolor Summer. And then we will do a showcase of the pictures from July, which you guys seem to really like the tags in July. You participated more than I did, I feel like, which is awesome. So we'll definitely do a showcase of that. And then hopefully Friday I can start going through my coloring book collection, which will be a combination of coloring book collection and all the pages I've ever completed, because we'll be seeing those as we go through. Then next weekend we'll do probably some kind of demo or something. We'll just have to see how the week goes. Anyway, thanks guys for watching, and bye for now.